as we've come to the end of a very action-packed two-day agenda, we've really come to the pinnacle of what the day's been about, corporate innovation, and we're finishing with the Barclays Hackathon. I know it's obvious to everyone, but there is no losers here today. Everyone's a winner coming up with great ideas, but we're trying to find the victor, and that's a very different thing. Just before we kick off, there's going to be a few minutes. I want to invite onto stage me Rashir, who I think is going to say a welcome on behalf of Barclays, and then we're going to get into it. So, big round of applause, everybody. Rashir.
Anthony, you said it all, but I'll add a few words. First of all, a big thank you to you and unBound, because I think the innovation that we've seen across is not just from one industry, it's coming from a cross-section of industries at unBound. So thank you very much. Big round of applause to unBound. Also, we got great reception from our launch yesterday about Launchpad and the Launchpad platform. And what we've seen today is a lot of startups and developers coming to co-create with us for our customers. And we think at Barclays, that is the future of banking. That's the future of innovation. So a big round of applause to everyone who came and contributed. And a big thank you to all the people who tried and created something different on the platform, which is the Launchpad platform. I know we're all waiting to hear and see from the contributors at the hackathon. So I'm not going to take any more time, and let's get started.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Rashir. Big round of applause. Are we ready for the final? Well, I'm going to try this again. This is the second day afternoon. I want to make sure everyone's awake for this. Are we ready for the final? Yeah. Okay, now we can be. Let's have our first team up here. PayKey, everybody. Apparently, my notes that I got very specifically are wrong, but let's have people IO up here instead. Same round of applause required. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name's Nick. I'm the founder of a company called People.io. And we're building an economy around people. So we're creating a marketplace that leverages the most valuable asset that you have, which is your data and your attention. And the way that we're doing this is we've built a platform that you as users are able to register for. And through doing that, you can start to collect and manage and control how your data is used. And through controlling that and through licensing it dynamically through the platform, we combine it with your attention to then create value. So the platform, or at least the registration page is live at the moment. We'll be going live to consumers in January. But one of the data points that we use and wanted to use is financial data, because financial data is a hugely valuable asset in itself. But financial data is blind. Knowing that someone has bought something at Selfridges or spent £10 at Tesco's is great, but without the true context and understanding as to why they've done that or what led to that purchase or anything like that, it's very hard to actually create value for the customer or for any of the brands that want to engage with that person. So I'll give you a walkthrough of our integration, and as was mentioned earlier, it could all go wrong, but we'll see. So we were given this fake persona of a person called Philippa, who was a 40-year-old female who had 2 children. So if we pretend we're Philippa and we're registering, as soon as Philippa puts in her name, she's getting credits. So there's an instant association of value between her information and credits. As we go through, we then start the registration process. As you'll notice, Philippa already has the 20 credits in the top there to say that she's now storing them. So we create an account. We ask a few questions, so we want to know that she's female, she's getting credits. There's more questions, we'll skip past that. You can see the dashboard starts to come to life. And it's at this point that you can actually then plug in other integrations. So right here, and excuse the slightly bad styling, we didn't really focus on that. You can actually now integrate into the Barclays API. So what we're doing in the background is we're now connecting that, getting a token, and going off to the Barclays API and getting all of her transactional data for the last however long is available. So imagine a real-world scenario where Philippa is plugged into this platform. In the persona we got, she also has a Seat car. So imagine she's connected into the platform, and then one day she's searching on the internet saying how to fix a Seat car. So we have a browser extension that's monitoring browser history, traffic, etc. Every time she's doing something, she's getting credits for that. So she's looking, she's giving off signals of intent about needing to fix a car. And we also see transactions in her bank statement that would normally be recurring transactions every week for SO Fuel, and they've stopped. So from that, we can start to make assumptions and inferences about what may or may not be going on in her life. So then as we skip over to the mobile app, and I'll show you a different part of the ecosystem. So you can see here, we open up the mobile app, and from in here, if I log in, of course, let's switch the Wi-Fi network, because that one decided not to work. 1 second.
Don't blame us for the Wi-Fi, as I said, it was Jake.
Let's go on to here, different Wi-Fi network. Sorry about this. Kill the app. And let's try again. So we go into the app. We log in as Philippa. And of course, what app would be any good without a Tinder-style interface? So we actually have Tinder for assumptions. So as we've started to analyze that data and make assumptions and inferences, Philippa's actually able to go through here as she goes into the app and go, oh, yes, I did have a problem with my car recently, swipe right. Are you considering purchasing a new car? Maybe I am. What brands do you like? Ford? No, not getting Seat again, that broke down. Maybe Toyota. So then you come into the dashboard. So those questions are asked every time she's coming into the platform. There's new things that we're learning about Philippa from the bank data. So at that point, we're then able to say, Ford actually wants to talk to you about the new Fiesta, because we know that that's going to be relevant to you at that point in time. So if you look at this, we're actually offering to give Philippa credit, or effectively money, in return for her attention for viewing this content. You'll see as well, because of the data that we have around the banking data, her available income, disposable income, etc., we're able to associate that offer of a car or a sales message with something that would enable that vehicle purchase, which would be a loan for Barclays, for example, compliance pending. And then, so imagine that Philippa then comes in, views the content. Just give that a second to play. It's just a random advert. None of these brands mean anything. They're just in there for demonstration. So you can see here now she's earned 60 credits, and her balance has gone up. Now, those credits can be redeemed and used for many, many other things. We did want to combine transactions into the Barclays APIs, so posting transactions every time credits were awarded. We didn't have a chance to do that, but effectively you can see the basic fundamental idea here that a person's data and attention has value. Financial data is incredibly rich, but blind data. And if you're able to understand and interpret a person's financial status and their purchasing history and trends and patterns, etc., and combine that with what they're doing in other touch points of a consumer journey, you can create a really engaging, powerful experience for the user whilst they're actually getting something in return. And that is People.io and the hack that we created.
Thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause. We're going to take some questions down in the front row from the judges. Anyone got an immediate question? Keeping their cards close to their chest, I see.
So this would work when people go into the People.io app, or it can work anywhere?
So right now it's designed for the People.io app. We're building an SDK that would enable you to embed it within your application. So for example, if you embed the SDK in the Barclays app, you would be able to pair the data that you have with the data that we have, but you would have to reward the user for the use of that data to make the experience equitable for them.
And I'm assuming as you're taking care of privacy of data with customers, opt-in and everything else.
Absolutely. In fact, one of our advisors is one of the most well-respected data privacy lawyers in Europe. He sits on the board of Privacy International. And what's really important about what we're doing, and it's written into the privacy policy to protect people, is we don't take ownership of any of the data. The user owns all the data. So unlike Facebook, when you register, they might take ownership and then license it back to you. In our platform, every single piece of data that comes into the platform is owned by the person, and when they leave, it all gets deleted.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions?
What a really interesting idea. I thought it was great. I can see myself kind of using this on a kind of a commute, you know, kind of it kills that 15 minutes, and actually if it can make me some money while I'm doing it, then wonderful.
Exactly.
So are you seeing it as that, as the sort of engagement with the People.io app as a kind of an ongoing thing, so the engagement would be directly with yourselves initially?
Absolutely. We want to create a closed ecosystem. And the reason for that is there's a lot of companies that purport to sell your data. And when you sell something, you lose control. And so if a person were to sell their data, it would have a fractional value because of the way the industry works right now. If you can find a method to license that data, they can create an ongoing residual value that in itself might be less per transaction, but because you protect the data through the closed ecosystem, you can create ongoing value. So right now, we see it as being a closed ecosystem, but we have a separate piece that is effectively the marketplace for that data that protects it, which is the piece that brands interact with. And so in the future, there may be an opportunity to build other marketplaces around that data.
So like you say, a Tinder for my data, that doesn't get me in trouble with my wife.
No. You can have Tinder without the risk.
I think we're stepping out of time unless there's any last questions from the judges. Fantastic, ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen,
very much.
people eye out. Right, going to welcome up our next team, and I've rejigged my order, everyone will be pleased to know. Now we're welcoming up Cyberduck. Come on, guys. Let's make them feel warm and special. Welcome up, guys.
So hi, everyone. I'm Benjamin. I'm a technical project manager in a company called Cyberduck. We are a digital agency, full-service digital agency in London. And I'm here to show you my hack, which we call Barclays PayKey. We were two to build this hack. My colleague is not here today, unfortunately. Something I want to mention is like we only used the time we had during that hackathon to build that hack. We didn't have anything prepared in advance, so everything you will see has been built in 15 hours, more or less. So to start with, at the era of the connected fridge and the smart dishwasher, microwave, whatever, we really wanted to use the IoT movement and the do-it-yourself movement as well to build a simple and very useful tool, a connected object. So that's the idea which is behind Barclays PayKey. We built two things, the connected piggy bank here and a web application. So we'll start first with the web application. So how is it working? You configure the setup on the piggy bank. Then you go to your portal, you authenticate. Once you authenticate, you will see your list of accounts. You will select your saving accounts, which is the one you want to use with your piggy bank. Once you're connected, you will see the three main functions. One of the main functions is to set the target. So you will set, for example, the target you want to get on your account. Let's say that you want to save £100. Okay, so now you see that at the moment you have £80 out of the £100. So the ratio here is green, and it's the lights that you can see here as well on the piggy bank, which is always displays a ratio between what you want to save and what you actually have on your account. So let's say, for example, that I want to set a much higher target. Okay, so now I'm red, so you can see like directly, you will see the LEDs here and ambient light inside the piggy bank as well, which is like making light in the kids' room. So then we have another function where someone can simply give some money to you. So that's a real transfer, so you get notified by the buzzer and by the flash on the piggy bank that you receive some money. So you can see the amount is directly done here. Everything you've seen here is like a real transaction. We're not mocking everything. We're actually using the Barclays API to do everything here. And then one of the main features as well is, since the goal is to teach kids how to save money and in a fun and interactive way, one of the main features is to withdraw some money from the piggy bank. So if you want to withdraw some money, you give a reason. So let's say it's to buy some toys. You just want to withdraw £20. What will happen here? It's like your parents, the parents of the kids will get a notification by email or on their phone. They will connect to the portal. Which is which is that URL. Once they are connected there, they will be able to accept the payment or not accepting the payment. So if they accept the payment, the transaction is made directly from the piggy bank account to the account of the parents, who then will be able to give the £20 in cash to their kids. So there are two modes in our app. There is a safe mode and an unsafe mode. During the safe mode, it requires the validation from the parents, and when the parents think the kids are autonomous, we just remove the safe mode so they can withdraw as soon as they have enough money, obviously, on their account. So that's about the web application. It's very simple. We just wanted to have a simple purpose, having something simple and working. About the piggy bank itself, I will show you what is inside, basically. What is inside is a circuit. So it's based on a microcontroller. We only used a few LEDs. That's the inside of the circuit. We could have fitted a screen, for example, on the piggy bank. It's not what we wanted to do. What we wanted to do is use like some simple components, something fun, something colorful, because the goal of it is to provide the kit to the kids so that the kids could build the piggy bank themselves. That's why it's very homemade looking at the moment. Have a few other examples. So that's another example here. Again, very like handcrafted, so it could be fun for kids to build their own piggy bank. They will just need to put the circuit inside. This one has been like 3D printed this afternoon, so thanks for Jack, who's been very helpful with us to do that. So basically, yeah, you could like build anything. About the cost of what you see here, there are like not more than like £15 of components. So if you scale that up, it could cost like probably less than £5. And that's about it.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen. Do we have some questions in from the judges?
So you say you'd be aiming it at kids. Is that what you're thinking? Because I'd love one of those myself, quite in all honesty. You know, like as a kind of a, especially if you thought about further integrations with regards to things like NFC to be able to sort of tap and add money to it. Is that something you thought about at all?
So yeah, it's something that could be done like later, probably, like to improve the prototype. But since we wanted to keep it very simple and using only simple components so that kids could build it, we didn't implement any like contactless solution. So at the moment, everything is done through the web applications. So I can imagine for kids who are like too young, the parents can guide them on the application. It can be instructive as well for them, just how to use like the web, connect to a portal and so on. So the parents can guide them at the beginning, and then kids can get like autonomous. That's really one of the goals of the product.
Any more questions?
Really great work on integrating hardware with the software. So fantastic work. I'm assuming that, is there a segment that you would target? Is that kids or just generally any hardware element connecting to software?
I'm sorry?
Is there a generic segment or is this kids specific?
So it's everything has been built from scratch from like yesterday morning. We're using only open source solutions. So there is like no patent on what we're using. You can like, the code can be open source. We can even like put it online tomorrow if required. Everything has been built using like open source and free solutions.
I see, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, big round of applause. Thank you very much. Really amazing. In 2 days to come up with the concept and build it. Really brilliant ideas. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Last round of applause for Cyberduck. And I want to make a special thank you to Cyberduck, who were very supportive in promoting this hackathon in the first instance. And I know the guys saw their own tweets so much they decided to jump in. So really appreciate it. Moving on to Team 3 very swiftly. And this time, I'm right in inviting up PayKey, I believe.
Hi everyone. It's amazing to be here. My name is Daniel, and this is Alex, and we're from PayKey. Our goal is clear. We want millennials to use PinGit for all their peer-to-peer payment transactions. We develop a technology that enables PinGit users to send money within any existing social network they use. In order to understand exactly how we do it, we need to dive in. So let's start. Here is PinGit, Barclays app for sending and receiving money between friends. PinKey apps enables users to send money by simply selecting a contact from their phone without needing to know their bank account. This is great, but there's still a big fundamental problem. Customers trust their banks, but outside of banking, they engage with social networks. Conversations about money are already happening within messengers as people chat about bar tabs, splitting dinner bills, and sharing the cost of an Uber. It's only natural to pay in the same place the conversation started without having to switch to another app. Using a dedicated app outside the context of the conversation doesn't make sense, and it doesn't appeal to the Y generation. But what if PinGit was able to leverage the social graph of the biggest messengers, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter? Wouldn't that be amazing? And this is exactly what we enable. We developed a solution that will make PinGit very competitive on social networks. Our solution is so deceptively simple, yet so impactful, that it's going to fundamentally change the way we use our social networks and smartphones for payments. We call this patent-pending technology PayKey. PayKey integrates as a keyboard extension into PinGit. It has all the functionality of a normal keyboard with the addition of a payment button. Pressing the payment button sets the keyboard to payment mode. Just select the friend you want to send money to, enter the amount, and that's it. Simple and fast. So let's see a short demo of how it works of a transaction within WhatsApp. As you know, WhatsApp is a closed source network. It doesn't have an API or an SDK. They want to leverage the social graph only to themselves. But because we created a payment keyboard, which is part of the operating system, it works. So me and Alex went last night to the Urban Experience. It was a great fun. Alex wants to pay me back £15 for the taxi drive. So he selects me from the contacts after pressing the payment button. He enters the amount, confirm. He enters his 5-pin authentication code, and that's it. The transaction has been executed using Barclays API, and everything happened within the context of the conversation. And now Alex will show how the same process works inside Facebook, and it works on any existing social network. PayKey utilizes the existing bank's payment rails. No changes are needed to the payment process, and it's done completely by the bank. If you think about it, if there's one app we use more than Facebook or WhatsApp, it's the keyboard. It's the gateway to everything we do on mobile. As you can see, here's the transactions from Barclays API containing the 2 transactions Alex just made. This is how we see the market. On the left-hand side, there are all the applications that do payments outside the context of the conversation. We also put Venmo and Square there because they use email, and email is not contextual. Millennials, they text. 60% of the times, we are on social networks. The winners, in our opinion, are on the right-hand side: Facebook, Line, Snapchat. Our solution is unique because it leverages the payment rails of the banking industry and does it inside the existing social network, so the user enjoys the best of the 2 worlds. Our solution is not only good for the bank, it's also very good from the user point of view. As you know, today millennials, they don't use just one social network. I, for example, use Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Skype, and because they're competing with each other, each one wants me to onboard my payment method. Using our solution, you only trust the bank, you onboard your payment method once, and you'll be able to pay within any existing social network. So to sum it up, we're first to market. Our solution works on every messenger. We are very bank-friendly. The solution is branded for the bank. It's a white-label solution. It's the security of the bank. The payment is contextual. This is very important. It's an easy integration, just an API level, and the payment is fast, just 5 seconds, like you saw. Our adoption strategy is clear. We are currently in partnership with Citibanks, and we're starting also a POC with ING, Santander, and UBS. Our solution also has a good viral effect because once you do a payment inside WhatsApp, and you're the first one to do payments inside WhatsApp, everybody wants to download the application because there is an embedded link with each transaction. And most of the transactions are done in groups if you want to raise money for buying a gift or if I want to pay somebody back. So this is the most important slide in our opinion. We think PinGit is the most advanced peer-to-peer payment application in the market today. If we start our POC as soon as possible, we think Barclays can be the first to market using our technology. And this has a great advantage from a PR point of view to tell the world, your customers can pay anywhere. All we need is access to the Sandbox API. We can do it on the Back's premise, and it's a 30 days integration. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, lucky they've just created a sandbox. Any questions from our front row judges?
So I don't have a question, but I'll make a comment. So I saw you guys at the Accenture, Finovate session, and I had a colleague of mine there. We were talking about we should integrate this with Ping It.
Yep.
And today I see a demo of it. So very well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you have to have the Barclays app installed on the device as well?
If you have to have it installed.
Yeah.
So a keyboard application can be a standalone application, and it can be also an extension to an existing app. We think it's very wise to integrate it into the existing Ping It app, so the users will just need to update, and they can start paying within social networks.
Right.
If you're sending it to somebody that doesn't have the app yet, he has a strong incentive to download it in order to claim the money.
Thank you.
No questions? Thank you very much, gentlemen. Excellent, well done.
So, we are ServiceCore. What we're building is something like Salesforce, but tuned specifically for the requirements of the financial sector. What we built over the last 2 days is a demo portal that demonstrates how merchants can very easily integrate point-of-sale loans right into their web portals. This could work for any sort of asset or product, really, but we're demoing it with a customer who's buying a professional camera that costs 10 grand. They don't have the money in their account. So here from the portal, they're going to apply for financing. We choose from the financing products that we have integrated. The customer reviews the terms. They apply. They supply any other details that are required from the application. We've simplified things a little here. And they can see their application is now pending. Next, we switch to the back office software. We refresh, and we hope to see the pending application right here. It's loading. Yeah, we're not in the right menu, but we'll see it in a second. So from here, we have very powerful engine for adding automated credit checks and all other steps. In this demo, we're just going to approve manually so that we can go through the whole process in time. Then, when that's approved, we generate an active financial contract which comes along with the data for all of the payments for the installments. And this is linked to the definition of the financial product. And we didn't build this today, so that's a connection with the product our company is selling, which is built on the Microsoft CRM platform, which we have customized specifically for the processes of the industries we are targeting. We have an edition for banking, for insurance, and others as well. So now that this is approved and financial contract is created, we can go back to, we can see the payments here, and we can go back to the web app that we built for the hackathon, refresh, and let's see, our application is no longer here because it's been processed. We now have an active contract, and we can actually see all of the details about the contract. Let's hope this shows up quickly. So right now it's connecting first to the backend app and then to the Barclays API to check the status of the individual payments. That's where the added value from the API is demonstrated. We see that we have a payment due, and that's live data. And the transaction is not in the transaction history for this account. So now, let's pay it. We have a simple tool to simulate payment. In the real world, we'll have accounting department take care of these things. OK, payment successful. Let's refresh and see what's going on here. So now we hope to detect the successfully executed payment. And that's just the beginning of what we can offer right here. Apart from tracking if the payment is already done, we can send reminders of upcoming payments. Through the Barclays API, we can get the customer's balance, so we can give them warnings. So, success, the first payment has been successfully conducted. Knowing the balance, we can send warnings to users with upcoming payments who don't have enough balance, because people don't like unplanned overdraft charges. I guess the people at Barclays who collect them like them, but nobody else does, so we better avoid that. So what else can we demo from this portal? Here we can see some of the richer functionality that we have in this platform. We can actually create financial products with all of their details, with all of their parameters. However, that's a little too complicated for such a short demo. So what we're going to do is we're just going to activate an existing financial product that we have created in advance. And when we activate it, we will go back to the web app to verify that it is indeed available and the data is live. So here we are updating the product. We'll refresh the view from the web app, and we hope to see it there. So what are we going to do with this app? Naturally, we can add it to our cloud portfolio and sell it as is, but there are other exciting opportunities. For example, we can distribute this functionality as a widget so that any merchant can include it in their online stores, and to have a reusable pay with the Barclays loan button that's as easy to integrate as a pay with PayPal button. There is a lot of value, obviously, for the merchants, better sales opportunities, and of course, great opportunities for Barclays to sell more financing products. So, thank you very much, and looking forward to your questions.
Questions, judges?
When you say your merchants, how large is your merchant base? Or you expect it to be?
We, at the current products that we have, that we sell on one by one, we have quite a lot of installations in different industries, specifically in insurance and finance in the UK. We have 3 sales that I can think of right now for insurance and financial institutions. Our goal is to make this absolutely self-service and in the cloud, so that we don't have to customize and deploy it, but merchants will just click and use it straight away.
No final questions. A big round of applause for ServiceCore, everybody. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. And we're going to be calling up the final team. It's been a very international mix, German, French, UK, Israeli, a mixture coming up in the last team. So let's have a big round of applause for our final competitors. Tallysticks, everybody.
Hi, my name's Adi, and this is Francesco, and we've been in the Tallysticks team. So Tallysticks is an invoicing network built on the blockchain. Now, why do we need an invoicing network? Well, invoicing is something that every company has to do. And today, invoicing is pretty much siloed. So each company has its own accounting system, its own ERP platform. These are big platforms, and they don't really talk to each other. So companies produce PDFs, they send them to their customers, and the customers have to receive the PDF, somehow understand it, and then make a payment. And then the other side, the supplier then has to check that the payment was actually made. And so they'll typically go and look in their bank account. They'll have an accounts department that will search for the invoice and try to match it up to the payment. And we've spoken to companies, large companies that have armies of people doing nothing but matching up and reconciling invoices. So we thought this is an absolutely perfect use case for a private blockchain. Why? Private blockchain allows organizations to share data in a secure and distributed manner. So what does it mean in this case? Each company can have a copy of the blockchain, the private blockchain, alongside its ERP system. And they can issue the invoice, and it goes into the blockchain. And then their suppliers, their customers, will have their copy, their instance, then their blockchain node, if you like, alongside their ERP system, so they receive the invoice. And then that updates their ERP system, and they can approve it and pay it. And that's all recorded immutably in this shared ledger. So all of this activity is accountable, it's irreversible, and it's signed by each organization that's participating in it. It's a cross-organizational workflow, and this is the type of use case that private blockchains are really suited to. Okay, so what are the benefits of using this type of solution? So for the buyer, it's very simple. They can pay, and we'll demonstrate soon using a couple of clicks on their mobile application. Reconciling is obviously much easier, so all that work and cost is taken away. For the supplier, again, payment processing cost could be much reduced with the type of solution we've looked at here. And again, the reconciling efficiencies are there. For the bank, so we've been approached by a bank actually who saw our platform and said, well, this would be perfect for invoice financing, because here is a immutable recorded transaction in a safe ledger, which we can then lend on. And so we started building out this invoice financing solution into Tallysticks. So for the banks themselves, there's also financing invoices means going out, getting those PDFs or paper copies, reconciling those. So again, all of that is made more efficient. And as Tallysticks, well, we're looking for partners. So we're looking for banks to help us make the payment simpler, and also to take on the invoice financing on top of this platform. Just to let you know, the data is actually stored in smart contracts on the blockchain, and a smart contract allows you to store data in the blockchain in a permissioned way. And we have some patent pending technology to keep that private, so that only the parties that need to see that data can actually see it. So we've done a couple of hacks here. One of them is we've integrated with Launchpad, so that the buyer can make their payment in 2 clicks on their mobile. Now tomorrow we're going up to see our first real customer. And they're a bricks and mortar business. They produce windows. And their customers are builders on site all day. And if we could tell them that their customers could receive an invoice on their mobile, pay it with 2 clicks, and they wouldn't have to pay credit card fees, they'd be over the moon. This is the type of solution that we've now developed in this hack in the last 48 hours. The second hack that we've done is the invoice financing. So the Barclays team created an API on the fly that approves invoice financing. And we've integrated that into the blockchain as well. So, let's show the live demo. Okay, so this is the mobile app that we created yesterday for Tallysticks. Do you want to create a new invoice? Okay, so we're going to create a new invoice. So this is the seller now wanting to issue an invoice to the buyer. So that's the value of the invoice, and they can offer a discount for early payment. And there's a due date, and after that due date there's a late fee and there's interest that might be paid. So this is standard invoice stuff. And by the way, in this demo, in our application, there is no database. All of the data that you see here is stored inside the blockchain in that immutable shared ledger in smart contracts. So now that's been submitted to the blockchain. You can see the transaction is pending. So that's now being distributed across the blockchain nodes. We have 3 in this demo. And there's now the consensus mechanism where they're agreeing this transaction is approved and confirmed. And now that's been loaded into the mobile app. Now that string that you can see over there, that string of characters, that is the ID of the smart contract in the blockchain. And that's going to be sent to Barclays as the payment reference. So we're linking the payment directly to the blockchain identifier for that invoice. And now you can see in 2 clicks, the payment, with a bit of luck, is made. And that's then sent back to the blockchain to be stored, to be recorded in that immutable ledger. So if we know
points, and they frantically flash for last points on the timeometer.
Ah, okay, very quick. You want to refresh it? Yeah. Okay, with a bit of luck, We can see the payment reference there that's come back from Barclays to the app. That's now recorded in the blockchain. We have a similar, and we can then look up the transactions. So if somebody wanted to look up that transaction, see whether it really was recorded and it's original, it came from Barclays, you can see it there with the blockchain smart contract ID pointing to that invoice. And we haven't got time, but we've got the same demo for the financing, for the whole financing workflow, where the bank can then approve the financing, and the bank's approval gets recorded in the same way, so the buyer can see it's been financed.
Thank you very much. Round of applause, everyone. I'm going to take questions immediately from the judges on the front row. Anything to ask?
Nothing to ask, but this is a great idea, and it's a great use of blockchain. Just bringing an element of security and reconciliation. What I know is a very manual, very painful process. Well done.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you very much, Tallysticks. And let's have a massive round of applause for everyone. While we wait for the deliberations, we can ask some questions. I think we've got the audience. Anyone got any questions? Not that I can answer. We've got a full team of Barclays staff here. Don't leave me on my own up here, guys. Come on, someone's got to have questions. Oh, we've got a question over in the corner.
Thank you. So, what next for the Barclays API? This was just a mock-up that we played with, and it was a lot of fun, by the way. Big up for the Barclays team. Everything was working really well. So what next? Are there any specific plans for this thing to go live to the public or selected team of early adopters or something?
I'm probably certainly not qualified to answer that on behalf of Barclays. I can see them all sweating here. Anyone want to, Ozzy?
Hello? Is it on? Okay, cool. So as you know, prior to signing up for the hackathon, these APIs were stopped APIs provided specifically for this hackathon. So not official Barclays APIs in any stretch of imagination, but obviously we all know what's happening in the ecosystem and what the future holds, but nothing to confirm or deny at this point, I guess. So yeah.
I think there are wider issues that we are still debating around banking APIs in terms of customers being able to authorize access to their data and security, etc. But there is an industry-wide momentum building in terms of building banking APIs, and we are an active participant. So I think there are two different things. One, we want to support we are part of the industry, and we want to support the industry in the initiatives for banking to become more open. At the same time, I guess one of the points of doing the hackathon was to get some of these ideas open. So there's always the possibility of we talking as long as the idea is very interesting.
Hope that answered your question. Any more questions from the audience? Back corner, yes.
I've got the press release for Launchpad, so I've got some questions as I'm a journalist. You said you're unveiling the Launchpad to Barclays customers who use mobile banking, and I'm a Barclays customer as well, and test usage on apps and things. How does that work in terms of opt-in, and what sort of apps will you be asking us to test?
So Launchpad is an app, and Launchpad is also on a platform. So in specific to your question, the idea is that we want customers to help tell us what they like to do on the mobile from a banking perspective. So we have, and there are a number of ideas that we have and that our partners are going to bring to the table in terms of what customers can do on the mobile banking app. Now, some of these ideas may be very specific to certain segments of customers. Some of these ideas may apply to a wider segment of customers. The idea is that we include these in the Launchpad app. We open it up to a relevant segment of customers for them to try it out. We value their feedback. We ask for their feedback. They come back and tell us, yes, this works really well. Yes, this does not work well at all. Or you could tweak it this way, and then we would really love to use it. We take that feedback on board, tweak it. Where we have partners working with us, they help us tweak it. And then if customers really give it a big thumbs up to say, yes, we really love this, then we roll it out wider to pretty much all the users. So the whole idea of Launchpad is that we work with partners, we bring ideas to customers, give them a say in terms of what they like and what they don't like, and once they say thumbs up, we give it to all the customers.
Very good, thank you. Look, I think our judges have come to a decision, so exciting times here. I think we're going to invite the guys up on stage, the presentation. Just before we do, I just want to do a tiny bit of shameless self-promotion. There's a gentleman at the back of the room who's worked very hard on this, and as I seem to have thanked everybody else sitting in the audience, I just want a round of applause for Ruin in my team, who worked tirelessly on bringing the hackathon teams together so your work doesn't go unnoticed. Gentlemen, we have a decision. Should we call you guys up? I think we're awarding 3 trophies. Now, that's either 1 each for you, or we're giving them to 3 of the teams.
Maybe you just get all the judges up there.
Yeah, please, gentlemen, all of you, come please join me.
So, first of all, a big thank you to all the participants. It's amazing how a lot of creativity and a little bit of caffeine can do in 2 days. So thank you very much. It was a very difficult decision, but we had to choose 3. And I'm just going to give them in no particular order, because all the 3 are winners. And for the 2 who didn't make it, again, you're winners as well, because you made it this far. So the first award is to Cyberduck.
Ah. Do you want to come up, guys? Well done.
Congratulations.
Come on, guys. Let's have it. 2 days of work. Congratulations, guys.
Just a small precision. I've just came back from a client meeting now. It's a really shame I couldn't be here for the final. I've been spending my 2 days here, trust me. So that's why you see me now and not before during the presentation. I hope you liked it. We really enjoyed working here together with the team, and you were amazing. That was good.
Thank you very much.
It means a lot. Thank you. You can stay on. The second award is to PayKey.
Ah. Come on, they just said the second award. Ah, they said that. Well done.
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. And the final award goes to Tallysticks.
We can keep clapping. Excellent, well done. So a big round of applause for the judges. I'm sure that wasn't an easy job. And really to all the teams, look at it, our finalists, 2 days of work, guys. Really thank you so much to all of you, the judges, the Barclays team, the 2 teams who unfortunately haven't quite won our hexagon glass prizes, and of course the you 3 winners. Last time, just for good sake, a massive, massive round of applause to everybody involved. Share any last words?
First of all, thanks to the teams, thanks to the Barclays team. Again, a lot of time spent here, but very well worth it. And again, congratulations to the winners and the participants. Thank you very much, folks.